Here to accept on behalf of Neil Jordan is a former host on 3, 2, 1 Contact. Current board member of the Seattle Rep and Fifth Avenue Theater. When he was just coming up through the ranks, he often found himself going auditions with a young Tom Cruise, back then working on his real name, Tommy Cruise. Please welcome David Quinn, everyone.
Stand by your man and show the world you love him. Keep giving.
Well, I'm pretty sure I was invited to accept on behalf of Neil Jordan tonight because, based on my previous speeches, Chris was sure I'd be very comfortable standing up here and saying the following. Neil Jordan, what the fuck? And he'd be right. Do you ever have that experience where a friend walks up to you and positively raves about a restaurant? They've been going on and on about this restaurant, and you don't know how to tell them that you've been to that restaurant, and you know it was just kind of okay. But the friend is a real foodie. They know that what they're talking about, you deeply respect their opinion. So what do? That's kind of where I am tonight. I deeply respect the opinions of the members of the syndicate. So when I found out I was accepting for Neil Jordan, someone I didn't even nominate, let alone vote for, I had to stop and do some serious thinking. And ultimately, that's what the 2020 Awards is about. Time, perspective, and reflection. At first, I thought my peers weren't so much voting for Neil Jordan as much as they were voting against Clint Eastwood. I thought, I'll do some bit where I give an acceptance speech to an empty chair, maybe even doing a little Clint, you know, like, Mr. President, I know all I need to know about the crying game. Or, you know, I do another chair bit, tie somebody up to it, shoot them a bunch of times, cut off their fingers, and give the award to Quentin. But really, that's just disrespectful. It did give me pause, though, because we are voting 20 years later. We're supposed to be unaffected by the forces that were acting at the time of the Oscars. Big media buys, the popularity of an older actor, Kevin Costner dancing on a horse, you know, the kind of thing Oscar races are known for. But in the end, we're only human. And I think that people could just as easily be affected by current events when they're voting, like when their pinko commie socialist attitudes prevent them from voting for someone like Republican conventioner Clint Eastwood. But again, I had to stop myself. We are professionals, people who value the art, and it would be incredibly distasteful and disrespectful to Neil Jordan and to us if I didn't reflect and reevaluate on what got Mr. Jordan here tonight. So I rewatched The Crying Game for a, fuck you, Chris, second time in 3 months, and I was genuinely surprised. Once you get past The Secret and begin to only focus on Neil Jordan's work, what you discover is a poignant and believable psychological character piece that deals with the power of transformation. At its heart, The Crying Game works because up until a very crucial, don't spoil the secret, point in the film, Jordan has made us believe in the importance of these relationships. Fergus has become disconnected from the very real and very brutal reality of the world around him, and Jordan uses the camera to get us to let down our guard too and kind of fall in love. The stakes are real, and the power of Jordan's direction and choices hit the audience hard, pun intended, when Dill's secret is revealed, and it works, and it did work, and we feel betrayed and confused and wrought with emotion, and that's Jordan's craftsmanship. So when someone says The Crying Game, I don't think the first image that pops into our minds is the taut and incredibly human hostage drama that plays out between Jody and Fergus, or the violent street shootout, or the moment where Fergus beats up the men in the alley as he comes to Dill's rescue. But when you watch the film again, you realize what craftsmanship Jordan has delivered to get us to that one special moment. I liken it to when I go back and watch The Usual Suspects or The Matrix again, just to see if all the pieces line up. And they do. We all have secrets. We all have those barriers that keep us from truly revealing ourselves to those around us. Fergus and Dill are just stand-ins for those parts of us that we want to keep hidden, from the parts of us we have to face in order to undergo real human transformation. Their final kiss reveals that we can all be transformed. Like, sorry, Chris, I was when I watched the film a third time. 20 years later, the world of the crying game is unrecognizable to us, and to me in particular. I accept this, Felix, on behalf of Neil Jordan, and I thank him for getting me to reconsider and be made wiser by my own transformation. But not completely.